This podcast is powered by the pros at Paschal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
I think this was a really good week for us, and the week actually started on Saturday, just because of the way we've been doing the schedule with the Thursday night game. And we got into some game situation prep, I guess you would say, some of the stuff that you do in a game. And it was fun to see our players react to it and learn it. And obviously we still got another week to get ready for our game, but this was really good for that and how you practice and how you prepare for it. So I was excited to see how we did there.
It's a big picture question, but Arkansas football has traditionally had to kind of cycle up to the big years, and you were part of a cycle up when you were head coach. What goes into that? What are the elements to cycle up and be competitive?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit different now than there, because then you were like, taking a lot of freshmen and growing them and, a lot of development, a lot of patience. Now it's, with that portal being open and everything like that, you got to do it much quicker. So I feel good about the way we've installed our offense, the guys that learned it in the spring and how well they did with it. And then what they did over the summer. I felt like we have some knowledge of it, or a lot of knowledge of it, coming into this fall. And then the last week, we're in the phase of cutting it back and starting to refine and start to understand who we are and what we do well, and kind of putting some parts aside for later and working on other things that, hey, we got to get this down. We got to just keep working on it and get it down. So we're certainly not where we want to be right now. But we continue to improve, and the players have great attitudes and are extremely hardworking.
What's been the biggest surprise about the offense this fall compared to maybe where you guys left in the spring?
Yeah, I've always been hard on the biggest surprise and the biggest this and that, but I think what we started when we first started out, the thing that shocked me the most was that we were a little bit behind the defensive line as far as how we ended spring and running the ball and protecting the quarterback. And I felt like it took us 4 or 5 days. We started getting better, came at it. Another couple days, we're better. Now I feel like our offensive line is working together and starting to see what we saw at the end of spring ball, and starting to actually go past where I feel like we were at the end of spring ball, and we're executing and doing both, being able to run the ball and throw it. And you got to do both.
A week out now, have you begun to think about, maybe the emotions that you'll feel, coaching an Arkansas football game again and, wearing all the Razorback gear during a game that counts for the records?
Gosh, I wish I could think about it, but coach been grinding us, man. I haven't had time to think about a whole lot. We're here early in the morning and getting home late at night, but it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I've always enjoyed going down to Little Rock and playing down in Little Rock, and I think it'll be fun. I can't wait till we get down there.
Sidelines or booth?
Yeah, I'm going to be in the sideline. You got the clicker now where you can talk to the quarterback and the earpiece, and can't do that from upstairs. I thought about it. I kind of liked it last year upstairs and calling the game and being away from all the elements that go down there. But I didn't like not being able to see the quarterback's eyes and how they were reacting and what was going on the sideline. So I think it's the right decision to be down.
Speaking of Talon, I know you've worked with him on a lot of fundamental technique things. How do you feel like he has done in that area? Do you ever catch him reverting some bad habits and stuff? And what are your thoughts overall on him and his ability to lead the team?
Really excited about how coachable he's been and how much improvement he's made. He's setting the way I want him to set now. He's got his delivery where it needs to be. There's every now and then where he'll drop down a little bit and revert back to some old habits. But I really like how coachable he is and how much he works at it. And I think this week he's been as good as he's been. His accuracy and making all the different throws, and he can really throw it down the field, but he can also make them medium range throws you have to make to move the sticks.
When we think about your time here before, always think about those wide receivers, Joe, Jarius, Greg, Kobe, and those guys. And you've got a good looking group up here. I don't want to compare or anything, but do you feel like you have guys that maybe even could play next level type of football? I mean, is that the kind of talent you have at wide receiver?
I feel like we do. I feel like we definitely have guys that will have the opportunity to play at the next level. You know, they got to show it though, and they got to prove it. And I think that's what, when you look back and you think about those guys you just mentioned, you know, they went through some tough times, and they, you know, they got hit in the nose a few times and got knocked down and knocked out, and then they just decided. I think what the way Joe tells it to me, they just decided they were going to go out and dominate every game. Like they felt everyone went after them when they were all true freshmen. So I feel like our attitude's right with our receivers now, and our toughness is getting better and growing. But it's a game where, you know, you have to be mentally tough, and you drop a ball, you forget about it and move on. And it's really what happens the next play, whether you make a big play, don't over celebrate it, or you make a bad play and don't put your head down. You just got to play one play at a time. And I feel like we're learning that.
Speaking of the wide receivers, how many do you feel comfortable playing in a game? I mean, how many would you like to be able to go through a game with?
Yeah, I think you need to have at least six guys, sometimes five, to really rotate and keep guys fresh and use different personnel groupings. It would be nice if you could get up there to seven, and then an eighth guy that you felt good about in case something happened. Um, but we're still working on that too, exactly seeing who's in the right spots and who's back, and how we're going to rotate them in the when we get to live action.
Are you able to say if Patrick Kudus was back at practice and how he was looking?
He's back doing some work. Yeah, he's back doing some work, and that's really encouraging to us. And I feel good about it. And I think Coach Pitt's the one that knows more about that than I do. But he has been back out there doing some work.
If he isn't able to play, how confident are you in Marion Harris there?
Very confident. Marion's done a really nice job. I think that's what's helped us a lot in this last week and a half, and our improvement and our confidence together and working together, is him jumping in there at that left guard and doing a really, really good job.
Bobby, speaking of your receiver rotation, I know we've had a lot of talk about Harrison, kind of joking about his age and all that, but going serious, what kind of camp has he had? Where does he fit into the big picture? And just what's it like coaching a guy who's that old?
Yeah, he fits in really well. I mean, he's big, physical, strong guy, keeps getting better and better every day. His routes are getting more and more disciplined. He catches the ball, and guys bounce off of him. I mean, he's got a chance to really help us a lot.
Yeah, what do you think about his personality? I mean, an older guy who's played pro ball, made some pretty big money when he signed, and he's out here, as a walk-on.
Yeah, I think he's been very humble and been good for everyone else to be around, because you look at a guy that's been to the major leagues and been out there in the show, and now he's in here grinding with us, getting sore, and understanding what it's like, just like everybody else. And he's been very, very humble and works extremely hard. He does his leadership with players on his own, kind of one on one. And is very quiet in practice, but goes extremely hard. And everybody respects the way he works.
Or you've been on the other side of this FBS FCS thing at Missouri State, and UAPB is probably not as good as your teams were. But what's the mindset when you're an FCS team and you're playing one of these big SEC or Big 12 teams like you guys did?
Yeah, what we always just tried to do was go in and play our best and compete, and try to shorten the game a little bit if we could when we were in there. I don't really like the matchup. I don't think it's really what we want in college football. I've always felt like, the big conferences should just take the money and give it to the FCS, and everybody play a more competitive schedule, and keep college football going. When Mark Rick used to come to all the head coaches meetings, he was the person that stood up for college football and at every level. And he had a lot of really good ideas how we could take care and keep college football going at all the different levels that there is, not just at that very, very top. So I think that you play those games in the FCS because you need it. And the one thing about it is football didn't get a lot of the money. It took care of all the other sports. So it's just a necessity for FCS. But they could fix it and just give them the money.
Well, what was your assessment of the scrimmage last Thursday?
Yeah, I walked off the field not very happy, and feeling like we didn't do as well as we needed to, and we didn't. But we did start out quickly with the first group. We didn't move the ball. We came back, had a 70-yard touchdown pass, went and moved it again, got down there to score again, kicked a field goal. The week before in the scrimmage, our two offense did a really nice job against the one defense, and didn't happen that way this time. We got dominated a little bit. Our threes didn't play as well as they need to, and the way they have been playing. But the ones continued to do a good job. We got in the situation part of it. I thought we were really sharp, actually.
You guys are going to play Oklahoma State in week 2. You've been there. What's that like? And a Mike Gundy team. What do you think of them?
Yeah, I mean it's a you don't want to talk about the game that we play 2 weeks from now, but haven't played them. They're going to be very, very well coached. They're going to play hard on defense, and they're physical defensive team. And I couldn't tell you one bit about their offense because I haven't even watched their offense.
Talking a bit about Andreas Poshka, what kind of camp has he had? How has he looked, and how has he kind of adapted to his new surroundings?
He's gotten a lot better. I'm really proud of him. When he was here in the spring, he's a very likable, happy young man, but he needed to learn when it was serious and when you needed to get tougher and become a better player. And he's done that. He's learned what it's all about, the competitive spirit at this level, and what I need to do. He continues to improve. He can not only run block and pass protect, but he's catching the ball well now too. And one of the things we wanted to really emphasize with him was running after the catch, because in spring he didn't look good doing that. He went down way too easy, and but he's really improved on that also. I think in the first scrimmage he had a really big day, caught 3 passes in a row, scored on the last one, broke 3 or 4 tackles, and it gave him a lot of confidence. And he continues to improve. He'll be a part of our offense.
Bobby, first game is Thursday night, and then you've got the 11 o'clock kickoff at Oklahoma State. Do you feel pretty good about the depth there at your team? I mean, I know at Taylor, you're not necessarily worried about numbers at quarterback, but otherwise, do you feel pretty good? Because it could be pretty hot at those games. You feel pretty good about the depth that you got to rotate in?
Well, I feel good about our conditioning because we've been working hard at that, and since all summer long. Our strength staff has done an unbelievable job on the ability to gain strength and size and condition. It's probably the most running I've been around as far as the way we condition and the way we're practicing now. We're taking longer racks and going a little very, very intense, trying to make sure that we're in game playing condition. But you always worry early in the year when you get those hot, humid days, and depth does come into play. We've got to continue to improve on our depth, and especially in certain positions.
That last scrimmage, they had 8 interceptions. I'm sorry if somebody asked this, but I didn't hear it. Do you feel like the interception issue's been solved pretty much? I mean, with 8, the last one, we don't know who threw them, but
Yeah,
you feel pretty good about that not being an issue going forward.
we're working on it. I mean, we're still learning and developing and finding out what we can do at each quarterback. And we do know that tip balls get intercepted, and we've got to do a better job with that. But yeah, Talon had 2 interceptions. One was a tip ball. Could have been caught. Nice play by the defensive back that broke the play up, and then another guy made the catch. So. And then Malachi, got a couple of picks against the one defense, which was unfortunate for him. He usually takes care of the ball pretty well.
Coach, what is it about Lucas that makes him so good? I mean, he's not extremely big or anything. Is it just athleticism, speed, like mindset? What is it?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, he's got great hand-eye coordination, his ability to adjust his body and make the catch. He's very good on his route running. And he's tough. He's a tough young man. He doesn't shy away from anything.
I assume we're going to see a lot of 12 personnel. You mentioned Poshka, but Barkey's Gum seems like, I mean, he just looked kind of uncomfortable last year and just seems like he's in his element for some reason.
Yeah, he's been up and down a little bit throughout the camp. You know, some of it is the being tough enough every play to concentrate and focus, but he can sure make a lot of plays for us. He can run and catch and do that. I've been real impressed with Washington. You know, I didn't get to know him at all in spring. He was hurt the entire time, and he's really a young man that's into it, really wants to be good, wants to learn the game and know everything about it. And he's got some size and strength to him that he'll definitely help us also.
Coach, you mentioned the in-helmet communication a little bit earlier. For you, what have been the biggest benefits in implementing the new system?
I think I'm still learning about it right now because, like the first couple of weeks, it really wasn't a lot of fun. It was a headache, doing all that and shut this off, that shut that off. And we're not the only ones that are having those type of problems because you have to be hooked up to two different things, one for the quarterback and then one for the staff. So there's some work to get done, and we need to be ready for probably not if it goes out in a game, but when it goes out. We need to be ready for it and be able to handle it when that happens.
Yeah, kind of on that note, just what has been the biggest challenge in adjusting to that process and all the different
Yeah,
issues?
I mean, there's a couple of them. One is, understanding the timing of when it clicks off. That's probably the biggest challenge, and really knowing that and how much you can give the quarterback or how much you can help the quarterback. And I don't feel like we've had that much experience on that because just the two scrimmages in the stadium is when it really clicks off. In practice, I just do it myself. And then, the ability to focus and concentrate when the quarterback can't hear you, can't get it, and being able to stay calm, which I'm really good at. I'm really good at that.
Addison Nichols was in here last week and raved about just kind of the freedom that you provide with checks along, I guess, the offensive line and the quarterback. Can you kind of explain why maybe offensive linemen like that freedom and why it's important for that to be a part of your offense?
Addison, huh? He doesn't really figure it out yet. He's got the freedom to do exactly what we tell him to do. That's always the freedom we give the quarterback. But I've been impressed with our quarterbacks. They understand the run game, and that helps our offensive line a lot. And I've always felt like if you go into a game as a quarterback and you come out 100% in the run game, you grade out 100% in the run game. So in other words, we didn't run the ball into a bad play. We got out of a bad play into a good play. We have a great chance to win the game. So we've worked extremely hard at that. And for the line, it helps some, I guess, because they don't have to block every single look and they're anticipating. And we're telling them sometimes what's happening. Hey, we're telling you the nose is going to slant to the opposite A gap and certain communications that we have. So I imagine they like that.
Coach, you mentioned before last time we talked to you, you're trying to find your identity on the offense. Do you think you're seeing it now, or are there still some elements that you're trying to find that identity?
Yeah, I mean, we're still working on it. We've got some time to work on it, but I feel better about understanding what we do best in the run game. And I've always been a flip the line guy. I know everyone knew that before when I was here, and I quit doing that a couple years ago. Mainly for my assistant coaches. So when they went and interviewed, people didn't think they were crazy. They just, no one in the country did it. I did it to try to, help young men do what they do best and be at a position. But so, run right, run left. What do we do with the tight end? How do we get to certain things? We're still working on those parts of the identity. But I think we understand what we're doing in the run game. Our protections have been pretty solid. Our communication has been pretty solid on that. And then it's just the aspects of the passing game that we like the best. And we're getting closer on it.
Coach, I know you obviously the goal is to score a touchdown every time, but it sounds like Shipley's had a pretty good fall kicking the ball. How much confidence does it give you as a play caller when you've got a kicker that's maybe dependable like that?
I don't watch the kicker. I quit watching kickers after last year's experience. I don't watch him at all. Not in practice, not nothing. I don't watch. I ask him, did he make it? And they say yes or no, and that's all I know about kicking the ball. I've been around some great kickers. Now we had the Lou Groza kicker winner at Louisville one year, and little Art Carmody. And we had a heck of a kicker here when I was here. But last year's experience made me quit watch and don't watch practice. And then hopefully they'll make it in the game. But I know this: when it's a 2-minute drive, we're going to go try to score a touchdown.
So you have a little bit of superstition in you?
No, none at all.
Hey, the earpiece, the quarterback, you were in the quarterback's ear, I assume, when you were at Jacksonville.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Did you do it at Atlanta too? Is it pretty much the same thing then?
It is, yeah. It's the same, pretty much the same exact operation. You know, you got a button that you push to put you live on the quarterback. It was a little bit different there because you didn't have another piece that you had to carry for your communication with the staff. It was all tied together. So feel like I weigh 30 pounds more when you put all that stuff on and pack around. And so it's a little different.
Technology was better in 2001.
Might have been.
So, I mean, like, how does that going to work? Like, you see you guys like getting to the line of scrimmage faster because you got up until 15 seconds before the snap, like talking to the quarterback about what you see out there. I mean, how's that going to be a benefit? And is it maybe a
I
big
think
benefit
one of the
for
biggest
first year?
benefits that it'll have in college football today is huddling, and then the defense not knowing what's coming because I remember when the Houston Astros had that big deal about stealing signs. Well, that crap's been going on in college football for a long time and just as bad. And I think this gives you an advantage offensively by huddling and not having to signal anything. The quarterback hearing you, calling the play, communicating it to everybody, and then going out and having to play football.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.